Good evening, I am Becky Heath and here is Scitt News. Our top story tonight. Local trainee teachers survived an entire 12-month school placement without once crying in a supply cupboard. Experts are calling it a medical miracle, whilst their mentors are calling it meeting teaching standards 1. A severe weather warning was issued to the entire staff room this term as inspectors descended upon the school. The meteorological shift was fascinating to watch. Overnight, empty corridors were miraculously covered in pristine student artwork, while the senior leadership team developed a sudden and uncharacteristic interest in how my Tuesday afternoon starter activity linked to the national curriculum. The inspection passed smoothly, though meteorologists noticed that the trainees' sweat levels reached a record high. An intervention was held this morning for a local Scitt trainee who has developed a severe laminating dependency. What started in September as a harmless relationship with a set of vocabulary flashcards spiralled out of control. By Easter, they were laminating seating plans, blank paper, and reportedly their own QTS application. If you or someone you love is currently sniffing laminating pouches, please seek help immediately. Parents' Evening took place last month, an event described by participants as speed dating, but with more accountability. The evening was a triumph of vocabulary diplomacy. I managed to tell a parent that their child was a disruptive nightmare by using the phrase, "He is a natural leader who frequently initiates unauthorised peer-to-peer discussions." We now turn to a masterclass in workplace diplomacy, building a relationship with your Scitt mentor. Experts agree the fastest way to achieve a good rating in your weekly review is not through the innovative pedagogy, but through the targeted pastry procedurement. I spent the first term bringing in premium bakery items to soften the blow of my chaotic starter activities. Soon I realised that my mentor was not a sweet-toothed person, but was very partial to a cheese board. By term 3, our relationship has evolved from the terrified novice hiding behind a clipboard to a beautiful partnership where they would communicate an entire behaviour management intervention just by blinking at me from the back of the room. A shocking report out of Key Stage 1 today. 30 brand new glue sticks were introduced to Year 2 class on Tuesday morning, but by Tuesday afternoon only 2 remained, both missing their lids and dried into a solid plastic brick. Police have no leads, but a local TA was spotted with suspiciously sticky fingers. We turn now to a local human interest story. I spent last week supervising a school trip to Southampton's Sea City Museum to look at the Titanic exhibition. It was an incredibly interesting educational day. The students learned all about the historic maritime disaster, while I learned that there is no greater adrenaline rush than trying to count exactly 30 moving children inside a crowded gift shop. Experts confirmed that the trip was a success because we returned with the same number of pupils as we left with, although 2 of them were wearing replica captain's hats that they had stolen from the gift shop counter. In legal news, a major crackdown on organised crime took place outside Key Stage 1 toilets. Authorities have dismantled a sophisticated network known to teachers as the "Can I go to the toilet with my best friend?" syndicate. This group specialises in requesting emergency bathroom passes at exactly the same time, only to be spotted 20 minutes later wandering past the sports hall at a leisurely pace. The syndicate has been temporarily disrupted by the implementation of a new, highly controversial one-in, one-out policy. Turning to our medical and psychological correspondent, ITAP Weeks. These are intensive training and practice blocks designed to take tiny single aspects of teaching, like how to model a task, and stretch it across 5 intensive days of hyper-focused analysis. I spent an entire morning filming myself giving instructions to an empty room, only to watch it back and discover that my authoritative teaching stance actually makes me look like an anxious penguin trying to remember if I locked the front door. In international news, January brought around the arrival of Placement B. This is a period where the Scitt programme removes you from the comfort of your school, where you finally know your children's names, and drops you into a brand new, completely hostile ecosystem. It takes exactly 4 minutes in Placement B to realise that your tried and tested behaviour management strategies only works in Year 2, and these new kids can sense your fear from down the corridor. In local human interest news, a breakthrough occurred in my main placement school. It turns out that building relationships with students requires a delicate balance of iron-fisted boundary management and knowing exactly which Super Mario Bros. Character is currently their favourite. Once the students realised that I was not a robot programmed to deliver the national curriculum, but actually a human who could laugh when a lesson went slightly wrong, everything shifted. And finally, our top financial and professional story tonight. The final audit of our teaching capabilities has concluded. After compiling an evidence folder thick enough to stop a bullet, the Scitt board has officially confirmed that we have all met the professional standards. Teaching standards 1 through 8 have been ticked off, meaning I am legally allowed to stand in front of children unsupervised come September. Nobody is more surprised by this outcome than me. You have been watching Scitt News. Thank you very much and good night.